honestly just the financial inventory. Like that's where the sale is made. So a lot of agents, like we make it super easy. We have a script for them to read word for word. We have the financial inventory, like everything's laid out. So sometimes people just like turn off their brain, and I was the same way. I just turned off my brain and just would follow through it, and I wasn't even listening. I'm just asking questions. So they kind of just like treat it like it's like a questionnaire instead of like a conversation where you're trying to like dig and discover, right? Because that's what it is. It's just you're asking questions to figure out how can I actually help this person. So I think a lot of agents, as they're filling out that financial inventory, they're not really looking at it. They're just putting the answers on the sheet and then going to their upline and be like, all right, what do I do? But there's nothing behind it. So like if you're actually listening, there's so many parts where you can use it for your sale. There's so much information they're giving you, like about their health, for an example. Like some people are like, okay, he told me he had a heart attack, and they think nothing of it. But like as they're telling you about this heart attack, talking about how they're in the hospital, they were out of work, their family, like all this valuable information of why they were even looking into this to begin with, and they completely skip over that.
Ethan, how we doing?
Doing great, bro. How are you?
Brother, I'm really excited for this podcast. I got to take this moment to praise you and say, from the moment that we met to who you are now, brother, it has been truly incredible to watch your development through this business. And for everybody watching this, we're just going to dive right into it. I always say getting your life insurance license is the best personal development course you can ever take. Save the $20,000 you're going to pay some guru. Get your license, because the person that you were coming in is completely different than who you are now. Not only just in terms of the business and your production, but also how you carry yourself, the way you communicate, the way you talk to people. You've developed and you've elevated in every aspect of life, and you've turned into an absolute beast. So not only has it been really cool, and this is one of my favorite parts about the business, is to see your transformation, to just see what you've done over this past year. I mean, being the #1 producer in Prosper, to everything that you're going to do over this next year, the coming years, you're going to build something really spectacular. So I just want to give you kudos and let you know that I am genuinely really proud of you and everything you've done this past year.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. Well, I'm blessed to be in business with you. I mean, like ever since I started, bro, when I was like a brand new agent, and then just like coming in, I mean, like even like looking back, like I remember my first 3 months when I got started, like the person that I was 3 months ago, like it felt like a stranger. Like I literally completely changed everything about who I was. And it was actually weird. Like it got to a point where I almost felt like I didn't know who I was or like how I should act. Like just because I would change so much, and I cut so much of like my old life out, and I just recreated myself basically.
Radical transformation.
Yeah.
In a good way. And that's so true, where you are a testament to you can literally be whoever you want in this life. It's going to take a shit ton of work to get there and become that individual, but you can truly be whoever you want. And I just remember sitting in class and sitting in school, and we've all heard it, but the people that tell, like my teacher, I remember when I was in, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade, I'm sitting there, and he's like, yo, you can be whatever you want in life. And I could tell the teacher saying that didn't even believe that. But it goes to show that you truly can, as long as you're willing to put in the work and reframe your identity to become that person.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, do you think from your first, if I would have told you your first month in the business that you'd be the #1 producer this past year, would you have believed me?
It would have been hard at first, but like that's what I wanted when I got started.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first started having success, it was like my 2nd month in, like it wasn't even anything crazy. My 2nd month in, I did like 20K. People see me, I looked so young. Like they just see this little young ass kid in the office with no sales experience, like putting up numbers. They're like, bro, like what's going on? And I was like, I remember telling somebody, I was like, dude, I didn't come here to be average.
Yeah.
Like it was like my first month. My name was at like the bottom of the leaderboard, and I was pissed. And it was my first month. Like I knew I wanted to be at the top. I didn't come in here to like do decent. Like I wanted my name to be known, and I wanted to be where I'm at today.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your mindset coming into this then?
Honestly, dude, I didn't know what to expect. Like it was my first time getting into sales, and like at that time I was literally looking for this, and I didn't realize it. So like I was looking at other sales opportunities, and I was like offered other jobs and stuff like that, and it just, I don't know, I almost went in a couple different sales opportunities, and it just didn't really like spark anything for me. But when I heard about this, I was like, all right, this is it. I can't miss this opportunity. So the only thing I thought was like, I need to take full advantage of this while I can. So I was just ready to go all in, do whatever I needed to do to find success.
Yeah. And the agents that you're bringing in now, because now you're focusing on duplicating yourself and creating other top producers. So the agents you're bringing in now, what are the tactical specific inputs that you're focusing on that's going to allow them to have success their first 30 days? And what is the standard that you're setting for them?
Yeah. So the first thing that you need to focus on when you're brand new is the inputs, obviously.
Yeah.
So like I tell everybody what it looked like for me when I first started. I tell them, dude, I was working every single day, Monday to Sunday, all day long. I would be the only one in the office on Sundays. I'd be the last one to leave on Saturdays, like opening up the office, locking it down. I tell them like, that's what you need to do. And you need to expect if you want to get to where I'm at and like get these results.
Even now, I texted you this last weekend. I'm like, hey, the car is Saturday. Hey, the car show's tonight. You want to come? You're like, nah, I'm in the office. I'm working.
Yeah.
Even now, that's still the standard.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, that's what I tell them, dude. It's like at the very beginning, I don't care how good you are at sales, how many closes you're like, you need to just come in and expect to be the hardest worker. Like I get all my agents when they come in, I have them sit next to each other and I like get them like fired up. I'm like, all right, who's making more dials today?
Yeah.
And I have them compete.
Yeah.
And like, that's what they need to do. And if you can do that with yourself, even when you do it, when you're the only one in the office, you're competing with yourself. That's how you win.
Yeah. And you need to have a running buddy coming into this. You need to have, Jordan Lowry talks about this, but you need to have 3 people that you're taking mentorship from and you're trying to emulate and get to that level. You have 3 people that you're trying to compete with. So if you're new, pick 3 other people. It's important. Make sure you don't pick duds.
Yeah.
Pick guys that actually want it, want it as badly as you want it. Pick 3 people, and you have 3 people you're competing with and trying to beat. And then you have 3 people that you're mentoring and getting to your level. And so even if it's 1-on-1, but whatever that may be, but that competitiveness is so important.
Yeah.
Because surrounding yourself, we are some of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So surrounding yourself with killers and people that push you to be the best and push the best out of you, dude, that's everything.
Yeah, bro, I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Eli. Like when we started, we were in this little shoebox studio apartment, sleeping on air mattresses. Like, bro, 2 dudes just in this tiny room next to each other, smelled like mold. Like it was horrible.
Do you have videos of that?
I have a lot of videos of that.
Dude, you gotta start posting that.
Yeah. I remember documenting
Talk about a come up story.
Dude, there's videos of like us, like me waking up Eli at like 5 a.m. He's on this deflated air mattress. It's freezing cold. There's no heat. I'm like, bro, we're going to the gym. Waking him up. Like, dude, it got bad. Like would fight with each other. Like we hated being there, and we would force each other to just be in the office all day because we didn't want to go back to the apartment.
Yeah.
And we would just hold each other accountable. Like I remember when I started, he got his first sale before me. And I was like, holy shit, dude, is Eli about to be better than me at this? And
Hell
like,
no.
I was like, I can't let that happen.
Can't let
So
that happen.
I started competing against him, and we kept just holding each other at it. Like we weren't worried about what anybody else was doing. It was just me against him.
Yeah, that's so important. What do you do? What do you do on the bad days when you are getting in your head, especially early on? What was your thought track?
Back then, like, I came in like with the expectations of knowing that. At first, it was really hard for me, and I'd really get in my head. But then I just start to like ask myself, like, what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? Because like that's the reason I'm getting success is because of the lessons and things I learned from back then. And I made the mistakes back then that cost me money, but now it makes me money because I learned from it. So like that's like how my mindset I had to shift was like at first I'd be on my head. But then I made that switch of like, okay, what is this teaching me? What am I learning from this? And how can I grow from it?
Yeah. Yeah. What is your mindset though? Like, what are you thinking on? Because even now, you still have bad days. People don't understand. Like, we all have bad days. What is your thought track and your mindset? And what's going through your head on those days?
Dude, honestly, now like I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of the process.
Yep.
And that's what I've learned. Because like I said, like back then I'd be in my head and it wouldn't do anything good for me. So now it's just like I understand it's part of the process. All I need to focus on is doing the right things. So if I can focus on buying enough leads, getting enough appointments, getting enough presentations, following my script and my process, then it's all going to work out.
Boom. You're hyper focused on the lagging indicators, or you're hyper focused on the leading indicators, which is going to get you to the result. Because where people go wrong is they focus on the lagging indicator, which is the leaderboard, and their production or their issue paid report, and that's all they care about, but they're not tracking the leading indicators, which is exactly what you said. Lead spend, dials, inputs. So what were the inputs that you got hyper focused on and you obsessed with over this past year?
Presentations.
Yep.
Presentations. So like at first I was only focused on dials. When I was brand new, that was it. If I can make 1,000 dials, presentations, and closes, it's going to be a byproduct or whatever it was. Whatever.
How many dials were you making a day when you first started?
300, 400, 500, 600, like however many I needed to make.
Yeah.
Like I remember they used to send pictures of my dial tracker when I was brand new, like amazed by how many dials I was making. And I would look at it and I was pissed. Like I wasn't mad at the leads. I wasn't mad at the script. Like I was mad at myself. I took full accountability and I was like, they're sending pictures of it, trying to hype me up. And I was pissed. Dude. I'm like, dude, I'm at 0 sales. It's 7 o'clock. Like I don't care if I have to fill out 3 of these dial trackers. I need a sale.
Yeah.
So at first I was just focused on the dials, but now it gets to the point once you have a skill set and you have a system in place where you can start to just focus on, all right, how many presentations do I need to get? How many appointments do I need to have? And then from there, you're going to get your closes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you went from 3, 4, 5. I mean, I was the exact same way. In the day, 500, 600 dials to focusing on presentations. What did you average over the course of this past year on presentations?
Last year, bro, I honestly don't even remember.
Or what's your non-negotiable input for presentations? Like
a week,
a day.
A day, I shoot for 3 to 5.
3 to 5?
Yeah.
So a week, 20?
Yeah, 20.
20 a week? Okay. That's the number one thing, and what people need to understand and realize is a lot of people fall into that trap where they're like, oh, I made 300 dials. I did a good job today. Well, dude, you didn't present it. You didn't close.
Yeah.
You don't get paid to dial.
Yeah.
So you need to get hyper focused on the number one metric that is the most important is your presentations.
Yep.
And if I have to make 500 dials to get to those presentations because I'm new and I suck, well, so be it. But that's what you need to focus on. And bare minimum, it needs to be 3. Your goal should be 5, but bare minimum 3.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm terrible, dude, I present to 3 people, one of them's going to buy. One of them's going to be laid out.
Yeah.
And so that's what's most important. What are some other inputs that you, just in terms of, because I want to stay on this topic for a second, because the power of organization, the power of systems within your business is so incredibly important. And when we talk about systems, I feel like people zone out or they go wrong. They think of just some complex, crazy CRM or no, your entire life is a system. All right, what are your daily habits? What is your schedule? How can I systematize my habits? How can I systematize my schedule?
Yeah.
Like you and me, dude, you hit President's Club off of dialing spreadsheets. Do you even use a CRM?
A couple months ago I started.
All right, yeah, you literally started
just for
like
texting.
Yeah, just for texting. You still dial off a spreadsheet.
Yep.
But you have systems within your daily sales process, within your life, your habits. So what is your system within just in terms of production wise that allows you just to crank and produce?
Yeah. So I just started to like I'm always constantly looking at my numbers and my process and analyzing like where I can improve. Like I'm always making tiny tweaks constantly. Like
Yeah.
you never, and I'm sure you're the same way. Like it doesn't matter how much success or results you've gotten. There's always tweaks you can make to just keep growing. So a lot of people, they stop doing that, but I'm always looking at my process. So one of the biggest things I would look at is like before the systems I have now, I honestly kind of struggled to get into a lot of presentations. So I was like, all right, how can I get into more presentations, which is going to get me more closes?
And Eli was smoking you on the prezzies for a while.
Smoking me, yeah. So how can I get into more presentations? All right, I started to bring in things like I'd have new agents, they'd be dialing for me. Now I have a full day of appointments.
Yeah.
That started to work out pretty good.
Yeah.
But then I started to see, all right, the show rate isn't the best, or the appointments aren't the most quality. So I make tweaks with my agents, my dialers. I dialers in Philippines. I make tweaks. I start to improve the process. And then eventually I was always just trying stuff out too. While everybody's like figuring out what the new good lead is, the good new CRM, I tried it all. And I found out. So while everybody's figuring out what next move they're going to make, I'm out here trying different things. And then that's when we added in like the texting VAs, where they're sending out automated text messages. They're blasting through all my old lead batches. So I'm not spending money on new leads. It's leads I'm already buying. I'm already dialing through them and closing on them. Now I'm running through them a second time without even lifting a finger. And it got to the point where it started to scale up to where I no longer have to dial. I show up to a full day of automated appointments every single day. They're getting text reminders automated, so the show rate's solid. They know what it's for. It's just my job to do what we do best, which is present, show options, and help the client.
Bam. Huge. And so 2 things that stood out to me as you were going through that. A, in case anybody was confused, you didn't just hit President's Club by banging the phones all day and spending $200 a week on leads. No, I mean, you've told me your average lead spend was $1,500 to $2,000 a week to hit that. And so you're spending on leads, but then you're also incorporating systems of, hey, I'm bringing brand new agents in. I'm having them dial the phones for their first couple weeks to book appointments on my calendar. I have dialers. I have texting VAs. I had the same thing. It's people somehow get into this mental delusion of they're just going to operate their business with a scarcity mindset, not consistently spend money on leads, and just grind the phones all day and somehow think they're going to. No, it's never. You have to. Your business is only as strong as your systems. I want to go back, take a step back before that though, where before you had agents that were coming in, dialing and booking on your calendar, before you had the texting VAs, but before you had the dialer, when you're brand new, just trying to be able to pay rent and figure this business out, what were some things that helped? Because I think, and the reason I'm asking this question is, I just did a call with Yaya's team yesterday, and I'm doing a lot of accountability calls with the agents, and that's the number one bottleneck that I'm finding with brand new agents is they're just struggling to get into presentations. So what allowed you to get into more presentations when you were just dialing the phones by yourself when you were new?
Yeah. So the problem I had, and I see a lot of other new agents have it, is they're just like, they're scared to be assertive and they're scared to take control. And they're almost like waiting for the client to just be like, all right, go ahead and pull out that financial inventory and ask me those health and like they're waiting for them, the client, to tell them how this process works. But it's like, dude, if you just flip the script and you tell them how it works. So it's like, I kind of changed it to where like I like to keep everything super simple. So when I break it down to new agents, instead of like, yeah, we have the script, here's the objections, here's what to say. But guess what, dude? Like when you call a client, it's not just a straight line. It's like the client's saying this, they're trying to take you off track. So at the end of the day, you need to follow like a framework where you say the intro, you say the script, right? You let them know why you're calling. The second step with us is most important, like you can't skip this, is you need to figure out what happened. We're calling age leads. They've gotten calls before. They've been through the process.
Yep.
So you need to figure out what happened. You need to get them on the same page, and then you proceed. So something like you say the script, you figure out what happened. Okay, they've been through it. Was it too expensive? Do they not qualify? Do they already have it? Once you figure that out, you answer it. They agree, and then you explain to them how the process works, which is, yeah, I'm what's known as a senior medical underwriter. My job is just to ask you a couple of health, financial questions. From there, we'd be able to see what options are available. Are you a smoker? And then you're right into it. Like it's super simple.
Dude, I want to stop there. This is probably, that was the most important statement of this entire podcast. If for all of you listening, if you guys don't take anything else away, take away the fact that there is going to be 2 moments throughout the presentation, and these are the 2 determining factors on if it's a close or you don't close it, is what Ethan said I want to emphasize, where they're not going to tell you, okay, like, let's get into it. No, dude, you just have to cut the fat and just jump into the financial inventory. Just start asking questions. They're not going to tell you, hey, we're ready. No, like, almost nobody's going to tell you that.
Never.
Talk to 100 people and nobody's going to tell me that. So you just like literally just jump into it, start asking questions. Where agents go wrong is they overshare or they overtalk. So the most important thing is cut the fat. Think about, how can I get my point across in as few words as possible? And dude, I'll just start filling out the questions. All right, jump into it. Don't ask, do it. And then the second piece of that, the second part of it, is when it comes to the close. And that's where people go wrong the most. They think they're going to be like, okay, we're ready to sign up.
Yeah.
You'll get that occasionally, but almost never. Yeah. It just gets to the point where they pick one. Dude, start filling out the application. Just start filling it out. They're not going to tell you we're ready. That's because they filled out a request. They filled out a lead. They need help. They need you to help and serve them. And it's up to us to have the level of assumptiveness and professionalism to actually be able to help them. Because some people get into this delusion of the client knows more than me. Dude, does the client have a life insurance license? No. Does the client ever, do they know the underwriting, the products with it? No. They don't even know what the heck they can qualify for. So don't get the delusion of you think the client knows more than you. That's like me going to you. That's like you coming to me and I'm a doctor and you said, hey, dude, I don't know what's going on, but my entire arm is black and blue and numb. I don't know what to do. It's like, all right, well, we could prescribe you these antibiotics, flush out your system, and you'll be good by tomorrow. Or we could do a surgery and we can operate it that way. What do you think's better?
I need a new doctor.
You're like, I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
Like, you are the doctor. And you'd be freaked out. Like, you tell me how to freaking fix my arm. I don't know what's going on. And so it's the same thing with us, where people think that they're afraid. Like, some people are afraid to like step on toes or be a little bit too domineering. No, it's actually the opposite. When you're too soft and you're not assumptive, what it does, it freaks the client out. They're like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy's not a professional. I'm going to go find somebody that can actually help me.
Yeah.
Versus if I get on the call, I ask a ton of questions to figure out the exact pain points. And then based on that, I give a solution. I tell them what to do. That's number one, because you could apply this to 10 to 20 different steps or scenarios within the presentation that you're going to run into. The cadence is typically either option close them, where you give them two options, they pick one, whether you're booking an appointment, whether you're closing them at the end on options, whatever part in the presentation, or simply tell them what to do. That's it. Because going back to the doctor-patient analogy, let's say you come to me again and you said, hey, Jonah, hey, dude, I got this really bad migraine. And I'm like, yeah, I need you to prescribe me this medication for it. And if me as a doctor, if I'm like, okay, sounds good. Here's a prescription. Boom, boom, boom. I'm busy. Get out of my office. I got a lot of people to help. And then you think you got what you wanted and you think the problem's solved. But what if that migraine wasn't the issue, was you had a brain tumor and so we didn't perform an immediate surgery, you're going to pass away in 2 weeks. Well, me as a doctor, I would have never known that unless I wouldn't have asked the right questions. So we also fall into this delusion of, we get on a call and we think the client knows more than us, or they're like, yep, I'm only covering my entire mortgage. If I can get this for under $100 a month, maybe. Dude, you know how many times I've ran into that? And then an hour and a half later, I'm closing the client down on an equity protection plan, and they're thanking me for putting in place 2 years of mortgage payments for $160 a month, because I didn't convince them or strong arm them. No, what I did is I asked a ton of questions.
Yep.
And I painted that picture. And a lot of times it's being able to dig 2, 3, 4 layers deep, where, like, let's say hypothetically, and this is more like, I've had multiple situations where an example of that is the husband thinks the wife is going to get his entire pension when he passes away. That's almost never going to happen.
Yeah.
So asking the right questions, hey, did you take the full pension or did you take partial when you went to retire? And understanding Social Security benefits, understanding VA benefits, and then expanding that picture and explaining where he goes from, oh, I might get this if it's convenient, to, oh, wow, I need this, and my wife is going to be screwed when I pass away. It just comes down, ask the right questions, and then assumptively help them.
Yep.
So let's switch gears and let's transition to what part of the sales process do agents struggle with the most or most commonly lose the sale?
I would say just like in the intro, obviously, but like let's say like once they get into the honestly just the financial inventory, like that's where the sale is made. So a lot of agents, like we make it super easy. We have a script for them to read word for word. We have the financial inventory, like everything's laid out. So sometimes people just like turn off their brain, and I was the same way. I just turned off my brain and just would follow through it, and I wasn't even listening. I'm just asking questions. So they kind of just like treat it like it's like a questionnaire instead of like a conversation where you're trying to like dig and discover, right? Because that's what it is. It's just you're asking questions to figure out how can I actually help this person. So I think a lot of agents, as they're filling out that financial inventory, they're not really looking at it. They're just putting the answers on the sheet and then going to their upline and be like, all right, what do I do? But there's nothing behind it. So like if you're actually listening, there's so many parts where you can use it for your sale. There's so much information they're giving you, like about their health, for an example. Like some people are like, okay, tell me you had a heart attack, and they think nothing of it. But like as they're telling you about this heart attack, talking about how they're in the hospital, they were out of work, their family, like all this valuable information of why they were even looking into this to begin with, and they completely skip over that. So all you have to do is really listen and repeat back the situation to the client. Because sometimes the clients don't even realize their own, or honestly, most of the time, they don't realize their own situation until you ask it and you repeat it back to them. And then they're like, it sparks the memory of, all right, this is why I actually filled out this request. Because at the end of the day, it's not really a sale. It's just you're asking questions and they sell themselves.
Dude, this is so much sauce. Brother, the importance of that is so tremendous, where you have to dig 2 to 3 layers deep when you're talking to these clients, where figure out, who the beneficiary is, figure out how they're related, figure out, all right, do they have protection in place? Figure out if the beneficiary is their son. All right, does he have a mortgage? Does he have bills? Is he local? Is he out of state? Figure out, all right, it's have you had any other family members pass away, recently? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. Okay, did they have life insurance? Yes or no. Either way, that's a win. Break down what that looked like. Paint really deep. Like go 2, 3, 4, 5 layers deep. And the deeper you go, the more likely you are to help those clients. Because right next door we have Geico. Dude, the Geico employees, they're making $30,000 a year, and every day they walk in, I can tell they all hate their life and they're all broke. You can just tell by looking at them. And we both sell insurance. We both help people, but the reason they're just the quote guys and gals. I tell people, don't be a quote. Like my State Farm agent, dude, he hits me up every month for a freaking, I don't want another quote. I do not need another quote. You've given me 13 quotes and you give me 3,000, I'm not going to buy.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people get into this delusion where they're just like transactional, kind of zombie, emotionless, just going through the motions. And sales is a transfer of energy. And so if my energy's low, or I'm going through it like a freaking robot, and my vibes suck, well, dude, yeah, no wonder you didn't help the client. You didn't even ask all the questions on there, like dig deep.
Yeah.
Because there's the difference between asking questions and intentionally asking questions. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And agents need to understand, they need to look at this when they're filling out the financial inventory sheet like it is a chess, like it's a game of chess. That's your ammunition.
Yeah.
What I always say is like the mental framework that I would always tell myself that really helped me is you have to look at it like a game, and the only way to win the game is if you help that family. And you actually you gotta turn on the creative side of your brain and strategically think, okay, how am I going to position this and how am I going to help and serve this family? That's why the agents that scroll Instagram during the day, they all produce low AP because their dopamine's fried, their brain dead.
Yeah.
Or if they have Sports Center on while they're dialing and they're watching Sports Center while they're talking to the client, you're not going to help. You're legitimately costing yourself thousands and thousands of dollars. You have to be so intentional and so hyper focused on your sales process as you're helping these clients. But that's what I love about this job, because I see it as the best of both worlds, because it's 90% the same. Literally, I know as long as I read the script verbatim, fill out the financial inventory, I'm going to close.
Yeah.
Like 90% the same. But think about if it was 100% the same, or if we had one exact pitch and one product, there's only so much brain damage you can take. There's only so many times you can pitch that over and over again, where that last 10%, you can turn on the creative side of your brain, analyze the financial inventory, and like, all right, how am I going to position this to the client? How am I going to, is this a doom and gloom situation, or are they both in great financial position?
Yeah.
Are we covering the full mortgage, or is this equity protection? Are they both making similar incomes, or which spouse is going to be in a tougher financial situation when they pass away? All right, where is their, not only how much income are they making, but where's the source of their income? Social Security. Are they getting it from Social Security? Are they getting it from the VA? Are they getting it from pension? And understanding and knowing all of those benefits. And by the way, if you guys don't know those, we've got a really great 2-Minute Tuesday on it. Just Google Social Security, pension, and VA benefits. There's also a link to it in the Age Mortgage script. Make sure you guys know that, because that's huge. But understanding these various scenarios is critical towards helping the client. And that's where, but like, people get a little bit freaked out, but it's like, dude, that's where you can look at it as a game and actually have fun with it. And it's a little bit, because it has to be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing a video game, if we played a video game and it was just incredibly easy to become the boss and win every single level, we would stop playing that video game immediately. So people know to a certain degree that you need a little bit of friction, and it needs to be a little bit hard in order to do that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But that's the great part about this job, because, dude, honestly, I would hate selling. If it was any easier, it's already so easy. 90%, read the script, fill it out. So it's like already 90% there. That last 10% I'm thankful for, because I think that's actually what allows there to be longevity within the sales process.
Yeah. And that's what I love about this business, dude. It's like, we actually have so many opportunities. Like, it's so much more than just like, all right, this is what's going to pay off your mortgage. Like, we work with all the top carriers. We have all the products, like every possible situation. If you just ask the right questions, you can help the clients in ways that you wouldn't even think of if you were just focused on, all right, let me get the sale. Figure out how can you actually help them. Like, dude, if you look at the leaderboards for our, in the office the past weeks, like, dude, this week the top person's over 55,000. He's at like 57,000 for the week.
For the week.
Last week was like 40,000. Like, that's like the new, it was crazy at first, like a couple months ago.
And it's not the same person, by the way. Last week was Damon. Yeah. This week's Ryan. Like, that's becoming the standard 40, 50K weeks.
Yeah. So like it used to be easy, bro. Like, you're at 10K on like Wednesday, you're probably first. Now it's like, dude, you're at 50K at Tuesday. If you're at 10K, bro, you don't even see your name on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And like, so like the standard's just changing, and like people are realizing like it's super simple. Just figure out how to help the client. And, you know, like, obviously success leaves clues. People in our agency here are winning at an extremely high level. There's also people who fail and they don't make it. So what allows so many people to come in and win, and then there's still people that lose? What separates these people? Because they have the same leads, the same script, same systems. All right, at the end of the day, it's that person and their work ethic and their hunger to actually get it done.
Yep. Let me ask you, I want this to be a more tactical podcast that especially brand new agents, but anybody in general, can take bits and pieces from and apply to their sales process. And so the number one objection that, and it still triggers me to this day, is I need to think about it.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that when somebody tells you that?
So the first thing is doing everything I can to avoid it.
Yep.
Like, if you're getting it after every single presentation, there's tweaks you need to make. So the first step is I try to avoid it. The way I do that is by just setting the proper expectations and doing like pre-closing, like through the financial inventory. So like when I figure out who the beneficiary is, I'm like, all right, Mary, so we want them to cut the check to John. Is that correct? All right, perfect. And then I'll go fill out the rest of the financial inventory. And then at the end, when you start to build the value, again, you're setting the proper expectations. So like, you build the value, you ask questions like, obviously making sure it is comfortable. I'm assuming this would be important, right? All right, bang. Now she just told me as long as I can make sure it fits in her budget, it's going to be important to her. And then from there, I set the expectations. So it's super simple. I'm just like, all right, John, so all done with the interrogation here. What I'm going to do here now, I'm going to run this through our system. I'm going to pull up a couple options for you. I'll have you write these options down. I'll explain to you how it works. From there, you just let me know which one makes sense. and we're going to submit the request for coverage. Okay.
Okay.
And I sit there until they agree. Like
Boom.
I act like I'm like staring at them until
Yes.
they give me that answer. All right, perfect. Give me 2 minutes, grab a pen and paper. So now I just told them like 3 different times as I'm doing the financial inventory, I'm about to close them. Now when it comes time to doing options, it's not a matter of, all right, yeah, here are the options. I'll let you know if I want to do it. It's, all right, which one do you want to shoot for?
I want to emphasize, guys, by the way, I would write his track words down because that is sauce. But it goes back to, it's 80% what you say, not how you, it's 80% how you say it, not what you say.
Yeah.
So think about if I said exactly what you said now, but I'm curled up and I'm a brand new agent and I'm just in a fetal position. Okay, John, so let me know which option. Yeah. It's gonna, they're not gonna respect you. So just not only what you were saying, but also your level of assumptiveness while saying it is, again, it goes back to remaining a professional and really helping them. What are some ways that you build trust and authority throughout the presentation?
Yeah. I guess I didn't answer like what to say if they need to think about it. You want me to answer that?
Let's go back to that.
So, so basically, like I said, the first part is avoiding it, but I still get hit with it sometimes. So when it comes down, like if you did everything right, like I said, it should just be a matter of which one they want to go with, not whether or not if they need it. So I literally asked them that. So they're like, yeah, show them options. Which one you want to shoot for? It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just need to look it over. I'll call you back tomorrow, whatever. I'll be like, yeah, I completely understand, John. Like be like relieved, like sigh, like kind of lower the pressure a little bit because they're feeling like tense. Like, oh yeah, no, I completely understand, John. And when you say you need to think about it, I'm assuming it's more so which option you want to go with, not whether or not you need it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So obviously biggest thing here is first just going to be getting you approved. So what most families in your situation would do would just be starting with one of those lower options. And then once we do get you approved, if you ever want to bump it up, we always can. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Okay, perfect. So did you want to start with the 2 years or the 1 year?
Well, I still got to think about it.
Yeah. So Jonah, like I said, this isn't open enrollment. So we do have to make sure we can get you approved here. So which one makes the most sense to start with?
Probably the year.
Okay, perfect. Do you have a valid driver's license?
Yep.
All right, go ahead and grab that while I get this pulled up here.
Boom. You're literally not even giving them the option.
Yep.
It is actually crazy how much you can get away with when your level of assumptiveness is a level 10.
Yeah.
Like if you just, again, it's because most agents are saying exactly that or something very similar, but it's all in your mentality, your posture, and how you're delivering it to the client.
Yeah.
So if you just don't even give them a way out, or it'd be like, listen, you filled it out. It'd be weird if you didn't, which is actually 100% true. Then that's how you're able to help them.
Yeah. I switched the mindset of like, oh, I hope I close this person, or I hope they're interested, of just like, I'm closing this person.
Yep.
And like, and you answer their objections in that manner, you're closing that person.
That's number one before anything else.
Yeah.
You have to believe you can close them, or else you will forever self-sabotage. And what's scary is you'll not only self-sabotage yourself, but you'll do it in ways that you didn't realize and that you're not consciously realizing. So you have to have that mindset of, I am helping this family. It's not, oh, I hope I could. Dude, they filled out a friggin' request. You're not cold calling them. You're not door knocking them. No, they filled out a friggin' request. So don't be a weirdo and simply help them.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times agents they just make it weird.
Yeah.
Like I'll shadow agents. I'll be like, dude, you said, why did you do that?
You're freaking me out right now, dude. You sound like a scammer.
Yeah. So it just comes down to get out of your head. Don't be a weirdo. Simply help and serve the family. So last question for you, and then we'll wrap up. What are some ways that you build credibility and authority within yourself throughout the sales process?
Just by being confident. So there's a lot of like agents. There's like these words that like it's just like a red flag when I hear them. I'm like, dude, that needs to go. So like you'll never hear me say like maybe, like we can maybe help you, we could possibly, probably, like those words need to get cut out immediately. You can't have any level of uncertainty when anything you're saying, or else they're not going to feel confident in you. They're not going to trust you. So you need to be completely confident in everything you're saying.
Yes.
So it's not like I'll maybe be able to help you find something. I'm gonna help you find something comfortable. Maybe we can get you. All right, we're gonna see if we can get you approved. Like,
yes, huge.
So just cutting out those words and being completely confident in everything you're saying, the client will start to trust you, and you can guide the conversation from there. Like, they just listen. Like an example that the other day I had a new agent. He was trying to replace like this policy, get her like an IUL, whatever. It's kind of more advanced, trying to explain the cash value to the client. Client's like, nope, don't want to do it, not doing it. I call over Damon. We pass the phone over Damon. I'm like, watch this. Damon gets on. She's giving him the same pushback. All he does is he stays calm. He explains how the process works. He explains how the product works to the client. Complete confidence. And the client has no idea what he's saying. She doesn't understand it at all. All she knows is he is the professional. He knows way more than she does. She's just going to listen to him and trust that he's going to put her in the best spot.
Yep.
Super simple. So if they can, they know that you are there to actually help and serve them, they're going to just let you guide the conversation.
Boom. Dude, this has been, every agent needs to listen. I think this is the best tactical life insurance sales training podcast we've filmed thus far. This has been some straight sauce. So wrapping up, some quick rapid fire questions for you. What's one sentence that closes the deal for you that you say to clients?
I'd say that last part where I'm like, all right, give me 2 minutes, following up, and then we're going to submit. By telling them
we are going to submit it.
Yep.
Boom. What's your best question in the FI that you ask?
Is this your first time going through this, or have you gone through this before?
Boom. And then educate them. Most common new agent mistake?
I'd say just getting in their own way, not having the right belief, not buying leads, not being coachable, isolating themselves.
Last question, a track word you use that people go over on sales trainings, but you stopped using because it was trash.
Anything that's like super deep into like sales, like some like crazy Jeremy Minor, like sales psychology, any of that shit, I cut it out, bro. It's a lead.
Yep.
Ask them questions and help them.
Yep.
You don't need, like, when everybody's like trying to be all like, oh, like I'm the sales professional. It's like, bro, they know you're trying to sell them. Like, just shut up.
Just shut up and help the client. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, I remember, and it's funny because all the guys that are, at least my experience, like Jeremy Miner's got some good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like Jeremy Miner as a person, but like, dude, every agent that I've ever met that's really deep into Jeremy Miner, they have a completely inflated ego and their biggest month has been $10,000.
And they're just a nerd.
I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, you know who I'm talking about. I had this kid. He's like, bro, like, I'm way too good at sales to not be closing. I'm like, so then why did you do 8,000 last month on the leaderboards? Like, it's people it's this weird thing of just over complicating the shit out of it, where it's like, if the client does this, then you do this, or if they say this is the track where, no, dude, don't be a weirdo and help the client.
Yeah.
So, Ethan, brother, I love you, dude. Thank you for hopping on. This has legitimately been one of the best life insurance podcasts we've filmed. So let's go kill it.
Let's go.
Hey, lastly, before I forget, I'm glad I didn't forget. People watching this, if they want to work with you, how do they find you?
Ethan_Coursey. I got a link in my bio. We'll hop on a call. We'll make sure it's a good fit.
Let's go. Hey, guys, if you took value from this, please like, subscribe, and share with somebody else that needs to hear this and would take value to improve their sales process. Let's go. God bless.